deadline has come and gone, and the Patriots did nothing. Well, they traded away Josh Uche for a future 6th, which is basically a 7th, but they did nothing.
Felt like crickets to me.
Get draft assets at least.
Yeah, right. Sell. That's what he's saying. Sell. Get something.
Get actual draft picks.
Yes.
A future 6th is basically a 7th. You
Pretty
never want a
much.
future pick. You want a current pick. And as we've seen other moves go down around the league, like Baron Browning to the Cardinals, and it was just a better price and very similar players. We'll get into all that.
Okay.
We'll
unpack it. Lots to unpack.
A lot to unpack for sure, my friend. We also will give out, as always, our latest power rankings. Who's on the top, who's on the bottom. And a special edition of Winners and Losers, trade deadline edition around the NFL. And Jayson Tatum opening up more.
Oh, gosh.
On his pre-draft experience and how he wanted to be a Laker, but it worked out for the best of him. Look, man, I'm never going to hate on transparency and honesty.
I am. Listen, sometimes, especially when you achieve, it's better to just lie. Just lie to me. We'll get into it later. But just lie to me, Jayson Tatum. Please.
All right, as always, you start with what's going on around the world of sports. So EA Sports put out NHL 25.
You did it wrong. EA Sports. It's in the game. Okay, go on.
Best job of all time.
Fantastic.
To do that. Iconic voice.
It is.
There's like, is it Morgan? Yeah, Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
That guy.
Rest his soul. James Earl Jones.
Oh, I thought Morgan Freeman died.
No. James Earl Jones just passed. So James Earl Jones.
EA Sports guy.
What's a dude? Oh, man. Now here's the show. Just sucking the air right out of it. The guy that does the voice for Hard Knocks. He's got a
Liev Schreiber.
Yes,
Liev Schreiber.
Thank you for saving me because I had no clue. That dude's voice, iconic.
Everything HBO.
Oh, iconic.
24/7 cover boxing.
Oh yeah, he did all of it. Yeah, you're right. Iconic voice. Those three. Us. You'd have to throw us in there.
Good call.
Right?
That's it.
We're like the tag team champions of sports talk. Is that fair to say? We come out with we got the belts.
That's not a question.
Right?
Exactly. With these iconic pipes. So, EA Sports,
we're not the
NHL
best.
25.
We're just in the conversation.
I'm not the best, but no one can do it better than me.
Oh, I like that.
It always got to get better.
I like that.
But in reality, I know I'm not the best. I'm not Scott Van Pelt. EA Sports, NHL 25, they put head coaches and likeness in the game. But they're doing like attributes, how they are on the bench, how they are coaching. For those watching on YouTube, look at your screen right now. Here are some of the comps. Let's start with Jim Montgomery.
Oh, man.
That's Mr. Clean. That is
a generic bald
That's
dude.
a main Jim Montgomery. That is 25-year-old Jim Montgomery. If that Bruins logo isn't there and you don't see Monty's headshot to the right, you'd be like, who's this generic-ass coach in this generic-ass game? And, like, I understand Jim Montgomery's like, he's bald. All right,
my God.
No, but he has a look to him. That looks nothing like Jim Montgomery.
I don't think it's as bad as... I mean, you guys out in the newsroom here at Nesson were going crazy on this stuff. And I saw it, and I go, look, I think two things can be true at once. A, you're right. This is a generic bald coach. But B, you all are picking nits with this stuff. It's just, I mean, just play the damn game. Is the gameplay smooth or not? Here's my beef. It ain't this. I miss fighting. Can I say that definitively? Not just in video game land. I miss fighting in real hockey, too. Can we bring that back in games, real life, and otherwise? Yeah. I don't give a damn about the graphics. I miss the violence. Other than that, I think the game's fantastic.
I respect you defending Jim Montgomery in your bald brotherhood. I get it.
We got to stick together.
Look, I'm not hating, man. If I was in the game, I would like a better hairline than what I got right now. I'll admit that.
I think your hairline's fantastic.
I appreciate you. It's not as full as it once was, but hey. So I get it. Just let's be realistic.
Why they take you ISO and see, that's a great hairline.
Look, man. It happens.
I'm one to talk.
You look good bald.
Thanks, man.
I would not look good bald.
I will give you that. There are some brothers in the bald community, although I love you, and we all stick together. Some of y'all have no damn business rocking the bald head.
Yep.
You would have been better off getting a toupee or whatever you got to do. But there's a lot of lumps and bumps, and there's a lot going on with some of these scalps out here. God bless me with a head that was made to be bald. So thank you.
You look great. All right, so moving on. Jason Kelce. Credit to him. After what we spoke about, what happened at the Penn State game, guy in his face, deserved to get punched in the face. Kelce took his phone, smashed it on the ground. Everyone commended him for it. There was later in the video of him not saying the best word out there, a word you should never say, in my opinion.
He used
to
the
make
same
a point
word
to the
that
guy.
the kid used.
Credit to Jayson Kelce not putting out a statement, not saying nothing, but they open up Monday Night Football coverage in Kansas City. It's him, it's Scott Van Pelt, it's Marcus Spears up on that desk, and they gave him the floor. And to himself, he looked in the camera and he apologized. Part of what he said, in a heated moment, I chose to greet hate with hate. I don't think that's a productive thing. I don't think it leads to discourse. It's not the right way to go about things. In that moment, I fell down to a level I shouldn't have. The bottom line is I want to live my life by the golden rule. That's what I've always been taught. I try to treat people with common decency, respect. I'm going to keep doing that moving forward. So when he apologized, I'm watching it go, he should not have apologized for what he did to that guy. But he should have apologized for saying that word later because it doesn't, two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
I give Jayson Kelce credit for owning up. And like I said, not doing a statement and moving on, not saying nothing. And you heard it in his voice. Tone matters in times like this. You heard it in his voice, him showing accountability, him being a bigger person to own up to it, to say that wasn't the best of me, and apologizing for it, setting an example on how to handle something like that.
I think that's the key.
Yep.
He was very sorry. You could see it, you could hear it, you could feel it. He was damn near on the verge of tears. It felt like watching it to me. It felt like he was actually sorry for it. And I also thought, George, that the panel, the guys with him, his co-host, handled it well as well because they didn't harp on it. There wasn't any follow-up questions. It was just like, hey, man, we're here for you. Nice apology. And then they moved on to the game. And I thought even that was handled properly. I will say this, though, and you're absolutely right. His actions physically that he did was the right thing to do. What he said is what he apologized for. And we all can see that and understand that. But the kid at large here, the one who prompted this, who provoked this, I am telling you right now, that kid should be thanking his lucky stars for ESPN and for the podcast that he does with his brother. Because Jayson Kelce, retired football player, just chilling at Penn State with nothing to lose, would have smashed that kid's face. Okay, his face would look completely different right now. Now, the kid would get a bigger payday. I'm sure he's probably going to get a something for the phone and whatever.
Yeah.
But if he had got punched in his face, George, he would not look the same for the rest of his life.
I think smashing the phone when it's shoved in your face is the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's lucky.
Yeah. It was, because of everything you just said. Like, if he punched him in the face, I'd be like, damn, that sucks for Jayson.
Yes.
Because that kid comes out benefiting something.
That's right.
And all that. It's just, in that moment, everyone's about getting clout. Everyone's about having that video. And that's the rare win.
He doesn't have the video. Now he got his phone smashed.
But it's a rare win when everyone else has a video. And 100% of people on the internet watching it going, Jayson Kelce's in the right.
That's right. That's exactly
rare
right.
Win.
But I'm saying, what if ESPN's not there? What if the podcast he does with his brother isn't there?
Well, he doesn't have as much to lose.
Right. Does he ragdoll that kid?
I don't know.
think he could.
I don't know.
He was pissed, dog.
He was pissed.
So I don't know.
Jayson Kelce came out on top, and he meant the apology. He didn't need to apologize for smashing the phone. Good on him apologizing for using that word you shouldn't use.
For sure.
And even right now, as we're talking about it, we're going, look, man, if he apologized or not, we would have taken it. I know that affects people in a certain community, a community I can't relate to in a way of I'm not of the LGBTQ plus community, but he just handled it perfect. Smash a phone, don't say the word, but apologize for it, show accountability.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely, that was a fair apology. I thought he handled it well, and I thought his co-host handled it well as well.
Yeah, shout out, SVP, the ultimate professional. All right, let's get to the NFL trade deadline. So, quick run back for what the Patriots did at the deadline. Joshua Uche traded to the Chiefs for a future 6th round pick, and that's it.
The end.
KJ Osborne still on the roster. Tyquan Thornton still there. Other guys that were vets on expiring deals. Guys I didn't see getting moved, though, but like a Jonathan Jones.
There was talk of Duggar.
Still there. They were reaching out to Duggar,
like that,
but Duggar on a long-term deal, I don't think they would have ever moved.
Yes.
But let's look at the NFL as a whole. A lot of moves were made.
Yeah.
Teams got better. Teams got worse. Teams had what are you doing moves.
Right.
We do a winners losers. Let's get into it. Who is your winner?
Oh, we're going winners. All right, I'll go.
NFL
I'll go Lions, and it's selfishly. I have a Super Bowl ticket on them that I got before the season.
Yep.
I believed in this team. I thought they should have beat the 49ers in the NFC title game last season. So I felt like, okay, they lost it because of their head coach rolling the dice too much. As a gambling man that I am, I appreciate that because I roll the damn dice too. So, but you learn from things. I don't gamble like I used to because I went through some hard times. You understand? So I look at the Lions and Dan Campbell, and I think coming into the season, they learned from that experience. They're actually going to be better. I did not see this coming. I mean, this team is an absolute wagon juggernaut. I didn't see that coming, but I did think they would be better, and they are. And so when Aiden Hutchinson went down, I didn't think my ticket was over with, but I certainly didn't feel as confident as I did when I took the bet.
Yep.
And so now you add Za'Darius Smith, who is not Hutch. Okay, let's everyone calm down. But kudos to the Lions for recognizing we are right there. We can get this done. When the playoffs come, likely, unless there's a meltdown, they're going to have home field throughout. On that fast track, in that dome, on that turf, you have to have a pass rush. You just have to do it. And I know they're manufacturing one now schematically with play calling, but in the playoffs, it's got to be a dude or two getting you the pressure in addition to your schematics.
Yep.
You bring in a guy here, he's not Hutch, but he's a proven pass rusher in this league. I love that the Lions at least addressed the need there, and it makes me sleep a little bit better at night now with this Super Bowl ticket.
So the Browns got a 2025 fifth rounder, 2026 sixth rounder for Za'Darius Smith and a future seventh. The future seventh is nothing. Future sixth is basically seventh, but it is a great trade by the Lions. Look, Aiden Hutchinson was the best pass rusher in the NFL.
Yeah.
So they weren't going to get someone close.
But you needed to address it.
Yes. And Za'Darius Smith has been great since 2018, 2019. He's been one of the best edge players in the league. He's bounced around Packers, Vikings, Browns. He's been great. Put him into that Lions.
Yep.
I wanted more moves from them, but this is big. You need to get help on the D-line. I like that winner's pick for the Lions as well. You know how I look at them on offense. We'll get into our power rankings. I think they're great. My winner is your Commanders.
Yeah, dude.
Because let's go back to beginning of the season when, they get new ownership. They hire Adam Peters from the 49ers. They invest in their offensive line. They hit on the draft pick of Jaden Daniels, which was easy. He was pro ready now.
Sure.
They traded away Jahan Dotson to the Eagles. I remember the conversation we had?
Yeah.
When that came up, we're like, trade him to the Eagles?
Yeah.
And I go, they got a third-round pick, and if you're trading them within the division...
It tells you everything.
Tells me everything I need to know about what you think of them.
You were right.
This season, Jahan Dotson's had 7 catches for Philly.
Yeah.
They got a third-round pick for Dotson. They traded a third-round pick to Marshon Lattimore to the Saints.
Crazy.
Marshon Lattimore has not allowed more than 24 yards in a single game to an opposing receiver or matchups when he's in single coverage. The Commanders have been winning. They're 7-2. They needed help on the back end. They're allowing opposing quarterbacks to complete 68% of their passes, almost 7.5 yards per attempt.
You need him.
Their cornerback play has been terrible.
Yeah.
He literally is their best corner right now. Steps in right away. Great trade by the Commanders. You're 7-2. What they are saying is, we will win. We think we can win the NFC East. We think we can win the division and be a top 4 seed in playoffs.
I think that's so well said. And by the way, let's go macro. Let's go big picture here.
Yeah.
Because we're both talking about the same things, but it's two different teams.
Yeah.
The Lions.
We like teams buying.
Right. They lose their best player defensively.
Yeah.
It's a pass rush. It's a need. They go out, and you're not going to find equal value, but you at least addressed a need of your team. Same thing here for the Commanders. And both of those teams in the Lions and Commanders are going for it, as you just said. They're going for it here. This is why the Patriots drive me nuts, because it's the complete opposite of the coin. If you are a contender, you should pull out all the stops and go for it. If it works, you get a ring. If it doesn't, we tried, right?
Yeah.
As a loser, as a bottom of the barrel team, who is clearly in a rebuild, George, this is not the Saints. Remember this. The Saints had expectations. They have a quarterback. They thought when their real quarterback, the Hall of Famer, Drew Brees, retired, that, hey, we're not going to blow this up. Like, we're not going to rebuild. We're going to get another capable quarterback and keep trying to win.
Yeah.
That's blown up in their face, and they stink now, right? But
they do.
But they didn't come into the season and even last season feeling like they were going to stink. Honestly, the Patriots, we all knew what this is. We know this is a rebuild. We knew that coming in. You need to sell. I just, for the life of me, I don't understand why you weren't more active at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Like, I get, and we just talked about Duggar. Hey, that's a guy you signed in the offseason. Stick with him. I get, there's certain players, fine. But there are a ton of names. George gave you a couple off the top of the show here, KJ Osborne and others. Get them the hell out of here and acquire some draft picks. Yeah. Just like we see these contenders saying, we're going to go for a Super Bowl. Let's give something away to give something back and go for it. The losers in this league, who you knew would be rebuilding, like the Patriots, should have did more selling to acquire more picks, because that's how you rebuild in this league.
There are the guys like on expiring deals, a Jonathan Jones, Dietrich Wise, KJ Osborne, Austin Hooper, Daniel Ukawale. So I'm going to name those guys.
Could have been had.
Could have. What I understand on the other side, though, when teams are calling about a Devon Godshaw, a Kyle Duggar, a Jonathan Jones, when you are missing Christian Barmore, Jawan Bentley, Jabril Peppers on the exempt list, when you're missing so many guys and leaders.
Sure.
And look, I'm not going to act like that locker room is mature, is in check, because it's not.
It's not.
But if you lose a guy like a Jonathan Jones, who called the team out after the Jaguars game, they can't afford to trade that away. If they were in a better spot, then Jonathan Jones could be traded away comfortably. And I say this where I've told you from square one, I understand his value. I understand his skill. I like him a lot. I didn't want him to be traded away because it's what's best for the Patriots moving forward. And for Drake May, you have to keep a culture there. And honestly, if Jonathan Jones was traded in the talking about as a football player, you were talking about him to the Lions, to the Commanders. I would have loved that for him, because he would have went to such a better situation.
Had a chance to win.
The Patriots roster in such a bad spot, they can't do it.
Yeah.
So in a way, you're kind of saying the Patriots to you are losers at the deadline, but who do you actually have as a loser?
No, they're just losers in general.
Well, yes.
Losers at the deadline.
I'm saying the front office.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to I'm not saying the players we said are.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'll actually throw the players in. I don't care. I'll go Seahawks here. Look, I again. This is now they're a little obviously much closer than the Patriots are to relevance, quite frankly. But the Seahawks have lost 3 out of their last 4.
Okay.
They're now, if you look at the standings technically in the NFC West, they're last place. They're in the bottom. They're in the basement. And it's just sort of you got to feel like the wheels are starting to fall off here for the Seahawks. Geno Smith, I think the Geno Smith experience has run its course. He's not the worst quarterback I've ever seen, but he's not the answer. And they knew that. He wasn't long-term answer. It was kind of like, okay, Geno's playing well. Let's ride this out for a couple years, see how far it takes us. How's it? It's not taking us anywhere, Sal. Okay, so I kind of look at this like DK Metcalf should have been moved. That's their top asset. There's a lot of rumors he's not happy anyways. They just signed him to a monster deal. He's a beast. You can get back. I mean, your return for a DK Metcalf is going to be beautiful. I think this is a team that needs to start the rebuild now, and that's a guy they could move now and get something back to jumpstart it, and then in the offseason you can add to that. But they didn't do it. And, I sort of get why, because as I said, they're in the basement of the division, but it's a tight division.
Yeah.
I see why you would think, let's stand pat and go for it. I just don't believe in the team. I don't believe in them. And I think they lost an opportunity to move a DK Metcalf, a star player, get some assets back, and start building.
I wonder, like Jonathan, I don't know what the trade price was on certain guys. Like we saw Jonathan Mingo, and I'll get into that, go for a 4th-round pick, which was absurd. But Mike Williams, DeAndre Hopkins, Deontay Johnson, 5th-round picks. Yeah. DK Metcalf is worth more than a 5th.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
And I just don't think it was out there. Again, Jonathan Mingo, the Cowboys, an anomaly. Hey, real quick, you want to hear more about us talking Patriots? Keegan Stiefel will be hopping on Foxborough Rush. We had him on the latest episode. Make sure to go wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime, Foxborough Rush, everything Patriots, dropping 3 days a week, new episodes. Again, that is Foxborough Rush, where we go in on the Patriots at the trade deadline and also talk about the NFL as a whole. That is Foxborough Rush, wherever you get your podcasts. So my loser is the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Jonathan Mingo traded from the Panthers to the Cowboys for a 4th-round pick. He has 12 catches on 26 targets this year. He had 43 catches on 85 targets last season.
Jeez.
He has no explosiveness, no speed. He's not the best route runner. There's zero game-changing dynamic. You know what you give up a 4th-rounder for?
DK.
You know what a team does? Buying at the deadline, something where if you're on the brink, and someone, when you give up a 4th-round pick, which is a valuable pick, a 4th-round pick for a receiver, that guy coming in, you're going, that's immediate impact. That is changing. It's worth giving up a potential prospect for Jonathan Mingo.
Right.
Jonathan Mingo isn't that guy. All due respect to Jonathan Mingo. If he was traded for a 6th or 7th-round pick, I'd be like, yeah, this is a fine trade. You had a receiver.
Yeah.
What is Jerry effing Jones doing?
Yeah,
what is he doing?
He's out there.
It just doesn't make any sense at all. While the Bills traded a 3rd-round pick for Amari Cooper. Like, Amari Cooper goes for a 3rd. DeAndre Hopkins went for a 5th. How is Jonathan Mingo for a 4th? It makes absolutely zero sense. And once again, as this Cowboys team is spiraling, it's Jerry Jones who's an absolute loser at the deadline. Dude, they didn't. And you know what got me?
What?
The Cowboys didn't have a 4th in this past draft. You want to know why? They traded a 4th for Trey Lance.
Oh.
And they're going to start Cooper Rush because Trey Lance is that bad.
He stinks.
Jerry Jones is awful. You know what's funny? Cowboys are my loser of the week, and they're the loser of the trade deadline.
Man.
Congrats, guys. You got a sweep this year.
If only you could fire Jerry Jones. Life would be good.
Just stop being the general manager.
Well, he's not going to do that.
Trust Will McClay.
Who's your most improved team out of all of this?
I have 2, but I'll go. My biggest mover is the Chiefs. They got Joshua Uche, who in his last 3 games that he played with the Patriots, I believe he had 5 pressures and 46 snaps. I could be off.
Right.
It's not good.
No.
Chiefs,
but
Monday
before
night,
that, he was decent.
Last year he was good.
Yeah.
He's a good pass rusher.
Yes.
He needs help. 1 game with the Chiefs, 1 pressure and 7 snaps. But that's not why they're winners. Because they went out and they only gave up a 5th for DeAndre Hopkins. Right. And as we saw Monday night, 86, 2 touchdowns. But the 3 big catches, he's a high IQ player. He's grasping the scheme already. He knows how to get open. The big catch he had down the seam, which was off schedule, where Mahomes had to flee the pocket and before he gets hit, lofts it up, he knew exactly what to do. And Patrick Mahomes was never a big 50-50 guy, 50-50 ball player. Right. With DeAndre Hopkins, he is. Because, he's not explosive or fast as he once was. Those hands haven't gone anywhere.
That's right.
That catch radius hasn't gone anywhere.
That's right.
And his smarts as a receiver hasn't gone anywhere. You got him with a great quarterback. He had 2 touchdowns in the game they needed him. Both of those touchdowns, great route running, setting up and a defender off the release. That catch down the seam, you just see the effect. The biggest mover is the Chiefs because they had nobody outside of Travis Kelce once everyone went down. And they got a great pass catcher for such a cheap price. I don't understand why it was so cheap, but the Chiefs to me are the biggest mover.
It's because people thought he was washed, and you called everything like the speed. Okay, fine, but the guy can still catch. He can still route you up. He's a dog.
Yeah. Yes, he's not what he once was, but he's not washed. He was playing with Will Levis and Mason Rudolph.
That's right.
That it just didn't. He wasn't washed. Anyone thought he was washed is an idiot.
Yep.
And to put in perspective, his 2 games with the Chiefs, he has 2 or more yards per route run. That's basically they take the amount of routes you're running on the field, the amount of snaps you're out there running a route,
right,
and they divide it by your receptions, your receiving yards. Yeah. So basically, when you're out there on the field, you're translating to a gain. Anything above 2 is explosive. That's been Hopkins.
Well, the other thing about him that's interesting and kind of unique to his situation, that was a guy that won in college. He won at every level of his life. And then he got in the NFL. He hasn't won Shaq. Now, he's paid handsomely. He's made his money, but he hasn't won anything.
Yeah.
So now he gets an opportunity here in Kansas City. He knows how to win. Yeah. And you're seeing that play out. For me, I'm going to go Commanders for everything you said earlier.
Nice.
Marshon Lattimore is just ridiculous, and that team's going for it. I'm also going to add the Steelers. And I get, like, Mike Williams gets hurt when the wind blows, so I get it.
Yeah.
But you're kicking the tires on it. Hey, if he could stay healthy for the rest of the season, maybe we got something with this guy.
Yep.
And you didn't give up much to get him. And adding Preston Smith, too. Another pass rusher there.
Love
as
it.
if they need more of that in Pittsburgh. I mean, so... and by the way, going back to the Mike Williams thing for a second, he has to stay healthy. But if he does, I was completely wrong about Russell Wilson. Him in that offense has opened it up. I don't think I've said an opened up offense in Pittsburgh since prime Big Ben.
Prime.
Like fat old Big Ben, it wasn't
Who could
opened
barely
up.
move.
Yeah. But like now, the Steelers have an actual offense. It's unbelievable. So if Mike Williams can stay upright, there you go.
To your point about Preston Smith, Steelers are my other winner, or they got the best.
Yeah.
They have 5 different guys with 10 or more pressures. Preston Smith has been bad this year, but he's going from a 4-3 in Green Bay back to a 3-4. His last 3 seasons in a 3-4 with Green Bay, 52 pressures, 11 sacks, 42 pressures, 10 sacks, 63 pressures, 9 sacks. He's going to be the 6th guy on this pass rush with a TJ Watt, a Nick Herbig, and Alex Highsmith. Great move by the Steelers.
That is a great move. And you got to pay attention to them in the AFC. I know everyone's given the Chiefs the trophy already, but you got to play these games.
All right, let's get to power rankings. 10 through 1, who's your 10 spot?
All right, I'm going Packers. You're
Me too.
Packers. Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, look, it was okay.
This is not a good spot.
Well, let's have this. It's not. Let's have this conversation because they've been much higher on both of our list. It was between them or the Vikings for my 10 spot, and I went Packers because of Jordan Love.
Okay.
Even though he's banged up, like he's going to be fine. I have the Vikings out again.
Whoa.
I told you when they lost that first game, I said they're done. They were fugazi to begin with. I still believe it. But with that being said, and they won, by the way, this week. Nope. It was between the Packers or Vikings, and I went Packers because they're better. I just believe they're a better team.
You know what's funny? I went Packers at 10 because of Jordan Love. Mm-hmm. He's throwing an interception in every single game. He's
playing hurt, George.
In that loss to the Lions. But the pick sixes?
I know.
The pick 6 was bad.
I know.
They lost 24-14.
I know.
How different is that game if he doesn't throw that pick 6 and they're in it?
When he was healthy, he was lights out. I think he's struggling because he's trying to play hurt, and he is. But that's what happens. But listen, he is playing himself healthy with every week that he is upright, George.
We'll see.
In theory, he should be getting more healthy and getting back on track.
Who's 9 for you?
In theory, I'm going Falcons. I keep telling you I don't believe in them big picture, but how am I supposed to keep them out of the top 10?
Yep.
That offense is lethal.
Yep.
I don't trust this team as far as I can throw them, but what are you supposed to do? It's weapons everywhere. Cousins is getting rid of the ball. They're swag surfing in the stands. I mean, this feels like a special Falcons team, even though I know it's fool's gold.
Even with the exciting White at quarterback?
Him and Brad Stevens and Total Wine and more.
Yeah. I wanted them to add more. They needed a pass rusher, but the offense is great. I went Texans at 9.
All right.
They're falling back to me. Look, but last we saw them, they got absolutely stunted by the Jets, but it's no Nico Collins, no Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
The offensive line's been playing bad, but that's more of what we've seen at large, where CJ Stroud's been kept in check multiple games, and he's played bad multiple games.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because of him. It's because of that O-line. This Texas team, I believe in them. They have a high ceiling, but they've been playing at their floor more than at their potential, and that's why I have them 9. Who do you have 8?
Another example where I should have listened to you. I have the Texans at 8. And I've had them like top 5 all year, and I've been telling you I think this is the team to push the Chiefs in the AFC, and you kept saying something's off with CJ Stroud. Something's not right. Now I'm finally listening. I have them all the way down at 8, and you know I've been high on this team. I'm starting to see where you're coming from here. Is it a sophomore slump? Possibly, but I need him to get back on track before I start believing them again, big picture.
Yeah. It's the same thing, and it's tough to knock them that far, but it is because of what they do. So for me, at the 8 spot, I have the Eagles, and I think I should have them higher. It's Nick Sirianni that scares me. First 4 games for Jalen Hurts. 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions total, including his rushing.
Sure.
Last 4 games, 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, completing 73% of his passes. And let's talk about Saquon Barkley. 116 yards per game,
Freak.
6 yards a carry.
Freak.
What he did against the Jaguars at the line of 27, 159, and 1.
Freak.
And the most ridiculous hurdle we've ever seen. Do you understand the athleticism, confidence, and awareness you have to have when your back is turned to an NFL defender and you go, I'm just going to jump and hurdle over him? He knew what he was doing there. But to do that and you know what's going to happen, I don't think people could comprehend how insane that is athletically. Yeah. After breaking a tackle, your back's turned. He jumped up and a guy went right under him. Dude, like, I don't know. I'm just so baffled by it.
I can answer your question.
Please.
No,
yes,
I'll just answer your question. I don't understand it. Okay, the most athletic thing I've ever done in my life is get in sporting events and not embarrass myself in the small minutes that I played. And in fact, I don't think you're wrong having the Eagles at 8. I have them at 7, and it is because of exactly why you have them so low is why I have them so low. Nick Sirianni. I mean, neither one of us trust him, nor should we. This Eagles roster talent, they should be top 3 in these damn power rankings.
Yeah.
They're not there because of the coach. Next question.
It's bad. It is bad. So, 7 spot?
Eagles.
Yeah, I have Steelers at 7. Adding Preston Smith, what the defense has been, good run defense, and everything they add to it. What about the 6th spot?
I'm going Steelers here. They play Washington this week.
Close.
Yeah, well, because we're smart. They play Washington this week. So just spoiler alert here, I have Steelers and Commanders. But obviously, they could flip-flop. I mean, if the Steelers beat the Commanders, I'll have to obviously put them over the Commanders. But right now, I have the Steelers at 6.
I went Vikings at 6. They get that win against the Colts. They shut them out.
You believe in
Joe
that
Flacco
team.
in check. They held Jonathan Taylor 48 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Look, the loss against the Lions was an absolute shootout where they should have had a one after that scoop and score. That Lions hangover on a short week against the Rams, that's a tough one, but making no excuse. They're a better team than that. It was a letdown game against the Rams, but that defense is legit. They stopped the run. They play their game. And Sam Darnold had 3 passing touchdowns, none of which to Justin Jefferson, who also went off in the game. There's layers to this team that scares me.
That's fair. I just don't. I'm not buying it. And I think as the season goes on, because we're only halfway, bro. As the season goes on, I think the Vikings will get exposed.
We'll see. We'll see. We're halfway there. I feel like it hasn't happened all the way yet. Hey, make sure to call into Boston as enter the chat, 617-790-0928, or email us thechat@nesson.com. That's to join the conversation. Leave your name. Doesn't matter to us. Call in, voicemail, email us. That is 617-790-0928 for Boston has entered the chat. All right, let's get to the top 5. Bills, I have them at 5.
I respect that.
You have them at 3, don't you?
No, I have them at 4, so I'm not far off. We're simpatico, my friend. We are.
They still concern me with the defense. They're not great against the run. There wasn't a lot of pressure on Tua.
Yeah.
They keep trailing at half, but they find ways to win. They're 3-0 against their division.
Yep.
They're 7-2. And in a shootout with Miami, which is dangerous for any team, they came out on top, and the layer of not just having James Cook, but the emergence of Ray Davis and adding Amari Cooper, who was inactive in this game. The Bills are playing well. I like them at that 5 spot.
I'm going Commanders, but as I said, if they lose to the Steelers, I'll flip-flop because I have the Steelers at 6. The only reason I went Commanders over the Steelers is as great as Russell Wilson is playing, and he is playing great.
Yes.
Like, I got to give him credit. I was so wrong on that.
I'll
gladly eat crow on that. But Jaden Daniels is better. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And so at this stage of their careers, I'm taking Jaden Daniels 10 out of 10 times and twice on Sundays, which is why I have the Commanders at 5.
I like that, how you differentiate the two.
Yes.
I mean, Russ, both games, 260-plus passing
Fantastic.
yards. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
He's fantastic.
And he's still coming back into playing the game, too. Like, there is rust for him to knock off.
I'd still rather have Jaden Daniels.
4 spot, I have Commanders. And it is adding Marshon Lattimore. It's everything they do. Jaden Daniels is a game changer. They're off to a 7-2 start. What Dan Quinn has that defense performing with the lack of talent, now they had someone to help in the secondary. They keep doing well. I like the Commanders at my 4. Who do you have?
I have the Bills. For the first time, I think, in the Josh Allen era, since they've been good. You remember Josh Allen took a second, but since they've been real bona fide contenders, I actually think low-key this is probably the Bills team that may be able to break through. Because think about this. There's no expectations on this team for once. Josh Allen, up until now, has yet to have a bona fide, sort of reliant running game. They have that now. And the Bills are not winning with Styles points like they have for years past. For once now, they're grinding out these games. That's where they used to get in trouble. They used to get leads. They couldn't run the ball to protect it. They get conservative late in the game and then blow a lead. Now they are grinding out wins. Welcome to how you win in the playoffs in the NFL, Buffalo. This team may actually go on a deep run, and no one's talking about it.
I like it. 3 spot, I have the Ravens.
Okay.
They're 6-3. So it's funny. I have a 3-loss team ahead of the Commanders, the Bills. the Eagles, the Steelers, the Vikings, all 2-loss teams. But they're 3 losses. Chiefs week 1. Let down against the Raiders, like awfully.
Yeah.
And then that loss to the Browns, where if Kyle Hamilton picks a ball off, that they win that game. Like they're 2 plays away, in my opinion, between Chiefs and Browns of being a 1-loss team. But more importantly, 41 points on this Broncos defense that was allowing 15 points per game, just 280 total yards per game. In 7 straight scoring possessions, 7 straight possessions alone, not the whole game, they put up 441 net yards and 41 points. Ravens are at 3.
Ravens at 3 here as well, my friend. Look, you covered everything there, so I'll take it a step further. Let's look into the crystal ball here. The same way I was talking about the Bills grinding out wins and having a run game now. I think as long as Derrick Henry's healthy, the Ravens are another one of these teams. You want to beat Mahomes, and right now it's looking like you're going to have to go to Arrowhead to do it. Good luck. But if you want to beat him in the playoffs, the best way to do it is to keep his ass on the sideline. I mean, good luck playing defense against that guy. With DeAndre Hopkins, we were talking about, Kelce, of course, always there. You must run the ball, have time of possession, control the clock. Don't play the shootout game with Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. You don't want to do that. So if you can methodically have drives, keep them on the sideline, and your defense can get timely stops here or there, you have a chance. King Henry and the Ravens, I think, have a big shot to beat the Chiefs, and it's one of the reasons why I have them at 3 over some of these other teams as well.
And they added Tre'Davious White at the deadline. He's been injured. He hasn't been good. But if they can get anything out of him, and that's depth,
it's a good
we'll
move.
see what happens.
Yep.
2 spot, I have the undefeated Chiefs.
Oh, you do? I was wondering if either one of us had the stones to not have the Chiefs at 1, and it was not me, it's you.
Hey, I appreciate you. Look, and these top 2 teams to me are the top 2 teams to beat. But it's their performance against the Buccaneers. That was a bad defense. That was a banged-up offense. They took you to overtime. At points, you had to come back from playing down. Look, with the Chiefs, it's Mahomes, it's Hopkins, it's Kelce. They're finding ways to win. The defense is great. I should put them at the 2 spot because I've seen the Lions absolutely control every single game they're in, and I'll get to them. But I have the Chiefs at 2. They're a 1B to me, but I put the Chiefs. I knocked them. I had them 1 last week. How this Lions team has been winning, how they've been playing, I have the Lions at 1.
I have the Lions too, but it's not because they haven't been playing like a number 1 team in a power ranking. Of course, they're beating the hell out of everyone. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry. The champs haven't lost yet. They have this guy, Patrick Mahomes. They added this guy, DeAndre Hopkins. I can't go against the Chiefs for my number 1 spot. But the Lions, I must admit, if we're just talking style points only, they lead the league in that. But I can't put them over the Chiefs at my number 1 spot when the team hasn't lost.
I agree. It's just they beat the Packers where their defense, it was 24-3 at one point.
Yep.
Late touchdown by the Packers gives you the final score 24-14. In that game alone, they're 2 for 2 on 4th down. They score on both those 4th down plays. Against the Titans where they put up 52, Jared Goff only net 61 passing yards. Go to the Vikings, a 31-29 shootout against the best defense. They hung up 31 on them.
Yeah.
And in a game where they look dead at the end because of the fumble by David Montgomery, they find ways to win.
Yep.
They play hard. They take on their coach as much as we've knocked him on this program. They play hard. They show up. They make things happen. That's why I have the Lions at the 1 spot.
I have the Chiefs at 1 for obvious reasons. They haven't lost. They're the champs. At this point, they are reminding me eerily of the Patriots dynasty. And I say that because I gambled so heavily during that Patriots dynasty. I won and I lost money betting for and against the Patriots throughout that entire thing. Mm-hmm. Where I say they eerily remind me of that Patriots dynasty is the first Super Bowl they won. I bet on them to get it to lose that game, and they won. Then the second one against the Eagles, I bet on them to win. They cashed the ticket. Now I just spent this whole segment selling you on the Bills, selling you on the, who else did I say, the Lions, the Ravens, all these teams that may have a chance, maybe, against Mahomes in the playoffs. And you know it's likely going to happen again. It's just going to drive us all nuts. They're probably going to three-peat. I mean, I'm telling you, this feels like 2.0. It's Patriots 2.0 to me. This team's a dynasty. I may just make them all-time one in this power ranking thing. We can just, hey, Brendo, you can just put me down for Chiefs every week because I'm not going to change it. Even if they lose, which they will. I don't think they're going undefeated this season. It's not going to matter. Mm-hmm. This is the best team. It is.
You know what I love? The Cardinals are in the 4 spot in the playoff seeding at 5-4.
Wow.
They're the top of their division.
Hey, we knew that, though. We knew
that
based on their draft, we knew they'd be improved. If you said win the division or playoffs, no. But we thought, both of us thought coming into the season they'd be a little bit better.
It's also how bad the Rams have been because they've been so injured, and now we see them getting healthy. Exactly, the Niners.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on there, but they're 2-0 in their division.
They
gives
are.
them that final spot. Hey, make sure to check out the latest episode of 310 to Left. Everything you need to know on the Boston Red Sox right there. It's the offseason, but always get your Red Sox fix. That is 310 to Left, wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts. All right, finally, let's wrap up with so Jayson Tatum was on the Club 520 pod.
Man.
And he spoke about his draft process, and he shared 2 things. Devastating the Lakers had no interest in him.
Oh.
Also, the Celtics told him, dude, one of the best workouts we've ever seen, but we're not going to draft you. And the Celtics had 1. They trade back to 3.
Right.
Markelle Fultz goes 1. Lonzo Ball goes 2 to the Lakers. Celtics take him at 3. And Jayson Tatum, though, he said he was devastated by that because he grew up a Kobe fan, obviously dreams of playing for the Lakers. Didn't draft him. He says, you don't like that he shared this story.
You know what I don't like? It's not this story. Because if you're he was being honest. Like, if you're Tatum at that time, Lakers picking where they pick, yep. I get it. I do. So it's not this story in particular, George, that bothers me. It's just the big picture of Jayson Tatum talking about the Lakers at every chance he gets. Brother, like, you know what I'm starting to feel like? Like I'm in a new relationship, and it's great. I'm in love. I'm on cloud 9. But my lady keeps talking about her ex. What are we like? What? Wait a minute, baby.
Fair.
This is us. What about us? I just put a ring on it, and you keep talking about this old flame. In this case, it ain't even an old flame. He never had a flame. Like, what are we doing, man? Listen, man. I'm all for transparency. I am. I'm Honest Abe over here. But every now and again, I'll tell a white lie. I'll lie to you. If I think it's beneficial to, you know what, maybe I don't tell the whole truth this time. Maybe, like, I just won a championship. I've talked ad nauseum about the damn Lakers throughout my time here in Boston. You know what? I'm an all-time great here. Yeah, you know what, man? It's all good. I was just so thrilled to be a Celtic. I didn't think about anybody else. We know it's a lie, but damn it, lied to us. I can't take Tatum talking about the Lakers anymore. It's driving me crazy.
If anything, he could have said it was devastating because the Celtics said they wouldn't draft him.
Yeah, fine.
They worked him out with the Suns. He even said he thought he was going 4 to Phoenix when he found out the Celtics wouldn't draft him. The Lakers weren't at his draft workout. So he started looking at houses in Phoenix. He was all in. He was excited for that.
I'm fine with that. I'm just sick of Lakers.
No, I hear you. I hear you all the way. And it was the best thing. If he went to Los Angeles, he wouldn't be there right now. He would have been part of the Anthony Davis trade. It was Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram to get Anthony Davis to LA. And who knows what that would have done to his development and his confidence. He also shared the same podcast when Gordon Hayward signed. He called his agent, like, trade me. I need to get out of here.
Wow.
He hasn't even played Summer League. And his agent said, dude, calm down. It's a good organization. They're going to teach you how to play basketball.
It's a good agent.
Boom. He has one of the best agents
That's
of,
a good
hey,
agent.
man, relax. And you come from Duke. You're the man. You want to play right away. I get it. And Gordon Hayward is like 73 games a season, 20 points per game, all that.
Joel Embiid, little breaking news here.
Suspended 3 games.
Joel Embiid suspended 3 games for shoving that dweeb that was writing about his family from the Philly Inquirer. Wow.
Worth a suspension, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
and I are opposite on whether he should have shoved him or not. He should get suspended 3 games. Worth it, in my opinion, for the shove.
Well, your thing was the shove was like the most harmless thing he could do physically to him, which I do understand. Like, obviously, it kind of goes back to the Jason Kelce talk, right? Like, if he punches that kid.
If there was, you said, smash a laptop.
Yes.
Which he would have been suspended 3 games for that, too.
I'm never going to support someone that walks up and punches or shoves someone. You can't do that. But I do. I agree with George that something needed to be done here. I thought he could have just cussed the guy out, and he wouldn't have got suspended for that, I don't think. But suspended 3 games for shoving that writer for the Inquirer, Marcus Hayes, his name.
Yep.
So listen, I'm guessing this. When's he going to serve this? Because he never plays. When's he going to play? I mean, when you suspend me for 3 games, I never play. Okay, so I win. Joel Embiid wins.
The next game he's eligible to play, and that's when it kicks in, which is smart by the NBA. Like, they're not just going to do it now.
More rest.
The suspension, 3 games, it'll cost him just over $1 million.
The real punishment, that's chump change to him.
I know.
The real punishment,
he signed a $192 million
if they
deal.
really wanted to stick it to Joel Embiid, yeah, make him play. Hey, you got to play right now for 3 games.
You cannot be substituted out for 3 games. Like, no! I have to be on the floor?
He would never shove anyone again in his life.
When you have just 192 in this contract alone, his last deal is $213 million.
That's what I'm saying.
$1 million. You get suspended 3 games, it costs you $1 million.
That's nothing.
I would have smashed a laptop. I would have been like, damn, I should have smashed a laptop. I would be like, damn, I should have smashed a laptop.
Just shove them and smash the laptop.
Yes. He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. This is Boston's End of the Chat. Appreciate you guys for making us a part of your day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.